All right, Christine Austin Ill coming to you with
Raheem Ill.
And we are going over objections. Now, this objection is once you have finished your presentation, you're feeling all warm and fuzzy, you get to the end, and they hit you with, I need to talk to my daughter, son, neighbor, uncle, landlord.
Landlord?
Everybody.
Okay.
That is the objection. So how would you handle that?
This is a common one. When getting that objection, I need to talk it over with. I guess it depends on who they want to talk it over with. If they, regardless, actually, if they say they want to talk it over with somebody, one of the first things I think we need to say is that we need to make sure that we're doing a very good value building presentation of our product.
Absolutely.
That's first and foremost. And we also need to understand that even if we do a thorough presentation, we build the value, we find the need, there is a need, we exploit that need. We can have all the pieces in place. However, we may not have a prospect. It may be a suspect. It may be somebody who just can't afford it, and that's how they tell us that they can't afford it.
Absolutely.
It's a smoke screen objection, if you will. It might not be the real one, but when it is the real one, when we built the value, there are some times where legitimately there's a son that they, or a daughter or child that they want to check with to see if this is something that they should do, or they may want to talk to their spouse. People make decisions by themselves every day, large and small, for things that they really want, for things that they really need. They buy things that they can't afford without talking to the spouse.
Yes. Or the children.
Them golf clubs that are in the trunk that cost $400, $500 for just the club. That wife may have never seen that receipt. That blouse, the purse, and we could go on and on and on, right? But there are some times where we do hear that. And to find out whether it's an excuse or it's a legitimate something that they have to do, one of the things that I say, if they say, well, I need to talk this over with my son. Okay, what's your son's name? Well, his name is Steve. So now I'm talking to my client. I say, okay, well, Christine, this is kind of how that conversation will go. Steve, I don't have any life insurance. Would you rather me leave you a check to take care of my final expenses, or would you rather me leave you a bill? What do you think Steve would say, Miss Customer?
Leave me a check.
Leave me a check, right? So we don't really need to talk this over with Steve. Why don't we put something in place? And if this is something that you just put something in place, and if after you talk to Steve, if he says, hey, we need to increase the benefit, it's a phone call.
Absolutely.
If he says that we should decrease the benefit, it's a phone call. But at least you'll have some coverage in place, and we can get you covered today. And I would then proceed.
Absolutely. Okay, so pretty much the same for myself. You know, definitely as we are going through the course, you guys will learn the 10 steps of a perfect presentation. And so these objections, you're going to go through and hit these things before you get to the end, so that it can minimize these objections that you're getting at the end when you should be collecting a check and giving a hug. You're over here trying to convince them why they need this benefit. It's one of the first few things that we ask in a home. Is there anyone else that needs to be here for you to be able to make any type of financial decisions?
So eliminating it.
It eliminates that before we even hear it. And again, we will get into that. But I think, you did an excellent job. I guess that's why you're, 6-figure plus.
Thank you. What about when it's the spouse? How would you handle it?
So the spouse is the same thing. When I get into a home, and I'm glad we are talking about that, because we don't have any one-legger objections in the course right now. If I get into a home and it is a spouse, and of course one of the questions in the beginning I ask if they're married, I then ask, does your husband or does your wife need to be here for you to make any type of financial decisions? And because I do work in several different states, there are different laws in different states. So like in Virginia, the spouse can make the decision for the husband and sign the application. So I don't really need the spouse to be there. Whereas in Pennsylvania, the spouse has to sign and do the verification. So it just depends on what state I'm in. But I always ask, does the spouse need to be there before you make any kind of financial decisions? If they say, well, no, not really, that not really, okay, we need to set an appointment, because what I can't do is spend this hour with you and then you tell me you need to talk it over with your spouse, because as we all know, seasoned agents, we know that means they're just going to show the face value and the price and not the value. And the value is what's important. The emotion, sharing, the conversations and the stories is what's going to help this, to close that deal. So immediately I'm asking that in the beginning. However, back in the day when I was getting that at the end, most agents, they're like, oh, okay, who do we need to call? But a seasoned agent, as to why you're watching this video, so that you can skip past all the waste money and time, one, you want to ask ahead of time. But if you forget and you do hear that at the end, if it's I need to talk to whoever, oh, that's no problem. Pen and paper. What's their name? Oh, I'm sorry, did I miss that? Are they your do they take care of your finances? Are they the one that's going to be paying for this? No? Oh, okay. Then, like he said, it is most likely the price. It is most likely that price. Oh, okay. Well, I'm sorry, Mr. Ill. So she's not going to be the one paying for this?
No, I'll be paying for it.
Okay. So what you may have missed it. What we really need to do is we really need to make sure that we're getting a plan that fits your budget right now. Okay. So, and automatically I'm putting lower quotes down. I'm not asking. I'm going to put them down, and I'm pulling them right back to you. So are these a little bit more comfortable for you? Okay. Which one of those? I'm reclosing. And 90% of the time they say, oh, well, you know what? This actually is a little bit better. They forgot all about talking to John, because I brought it down. Do not ask them, do you want me to show you some more quotes? Because the answer is going to be no. Just do it. We are the professionals. Again, it's body language, listening, active listening, and I write down more quotes and then I show it to them. You may have missed that we can start lower, because it's better to have some cash than none at all. And of course, with our benefit, we have a family support service, so I tie that in as well. All right, so that's the only additional, I guess.
That's good.
Yeah, whatever I want to say there, I'm going to cut that out.
Yeah, let's wrap it up.
Okay, so that's all that I would say.
Okay, good stuff.
All right, so any comments, guys? Again, we are here for you. Make sure you post your comments down below in this course.